Hello, 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 YouTube viewers and listeners. How are you doing? Welcome back to my channel, Lucy Mwangi USA. My name is Lucy. Thank you so much for coming back, for subscribing to this channel, for joining me throughout my videos. I know this is a pretty young YouTube channel, but thank you so much for your participation, for the comments, for sharing, for liking, and for joining us on this YouTube channel. I try to inspire, to inform, and to give some of my experiences while living here in the US as an immigrant from Kenya. So I'm so glad that you're here with us. So today I'm doing video number 5. If you've been following the series, I started with video number 1, where I welcomed you all to my new YouTube channel. And thank you very much for the support on that video. And then I did another one on how I moved from being a radio presenter to a nurse in America. And then I did another one on video number 3 is how I got my 5-year visa, and that helped me come to the US. And then video number 4 was the video on my first time in the US. Thank you so much for watching all those videos and for sharing. So it's a series of 5. Today, I'm doing my transition from Kenya to American life. So let's go back. But first of all, guys, don't think that I cut my hair. I didn't cut my hair. I braided it like in the forehead. Can you see that? You can actually land a Boeing. You can land a plane over there. But enough of that. So today I decided to sit in front of the camera and narrate this because this is important to me. This is important to me. I didn't want to do a voiceover. I just wanted to just go ahead and do this. So after I did, so if you watch those videos, then you know that I came the first time through my job, Metro FM 101.9, where the power is in the music. I got a visa, a 5-year visa through Kipkelion and Coca-Cola. That was back in '98. So after that, I came, did the tour, went back to Kenya after like 10 days and did the promotion. So how it worked was I would go from one radio station to the other because KBC has English service, it has Swahili service, and it has vernacular service. So I would go from one studio to the other. I would go in. I remember I was so starstruck when I met Jeff Mwangi. So I would go in when he's recording Reggae Time. That was amazing. When I met kina Jeff Mwangi, kina Hadija Ali, kina Elizabeth Omolo, and Elizabeth Obege, Eric Ndeche, John Obongo Jr. When I met those guys, I was so starstruck because those are the guys that we used to listen to when I was little, when I was growing up. We used to bring the radio to the shamba, to the farm. When we are working, when you're farming, you bring the radio for entertainment. And those are the guys that you would listen to. So for me to be able to even share the same space with them, that was amazing. That was amazing for me. So I would go in there when they're doing their programs and I would promote the World of Coca-Cola tour so that more people can participate, so that more people can win the opportunity to come to the US like I did. So that was awesome. So after that, I continued to work. I continued to work on Metro FM. I really loved working there. That was my favorite job. It wasn't even like a job. It was like you're having fun and getting paid at the same time. That was awesome. That was awesome for me. So I continued to do that. I continued to work on Metro FM, but then my mom passed away, and that was a very heavy time. It was a heavy moment for me. It was difficult for us to cope with that, and knowing that she's the one that was helping bring the family together because my dad was a cop. He wasn't home all the time. So at that time, I was the only one working, I think, myself and my dad. Everybody else, and it's 8 of us in our family. So everybody else was in school, and that's like elementary school, we call them primary school. Primary schools in Kenya, secondary school, and I think my older brother was in college. So I was like, how are they going to continue with school? Education is not free. So how are they going to continue with that? And then my dad was about to retire. So it wasn't going to be, easy. And the money that I was making at KBC was not going to be enough. It wasn't going to be enough. So I made the decision to use the visa that I had to try and see if I can get greener pastures here in the US. I did not know what the possibilities were going to be. But at that time, that was the only option for me. Because I have a 5-year visa, I was like, I will never know until I try. And if I can come to the US and make a little bit of money to support my dad and help the kids go back to school, then I'm willing to do that, even if I really, really loved my job. So luckily, because obviously you can't just come to the US, even if you have a visa, you can't just get in on a plane and come to the US. So luckily I still have this dear friend of mine, Lydia. We used to be together in high school in Masigal's Kipkelion. Shout out to Masigal's Kipkelion, PO Box 19 Kipkelion. Sijasahau. So Lydia was ahead of me in high school. She was, I think, 2 grades ahead of me. But she was already in the US, but we were not in communication. So one day during Shekilegi was the show that Tony Msalame, the late, rest in peace, Tony, the late Tony Msalame and myself, we used to host that show on Saturdays at 12 o'clock. Shekilegi, Iko Kitu. You guys remember that? So people used to call in and wanatuma salamu, they call us, they say they're calling from wherever part of the country. And that was an awesome show. I missed that. So Lydia called the studio. She called in. She had come to Nairobi. She called in, and she was like, she identified herself. First of all, I was shocked because I hadn't heard from her for like years. So we talked on the phone, and we arranged that after the show we were gonna go, meet up. So we met up and we started talking. And while we were talking, I raised the issue or the suggestion that I have a visa. Can I come to the US? Like, what are the possibilities? And after that, we continued to talk about it until it got to a point where I was like, okay, I weighed the options. And I was like, well, let me just come. If it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out. Then I know I tried. If it works out, then well and good. So she was gracious enough. She was gracious enough to offer to host me, which is one of the biggest things that you need, because when you're coming to the US, at the airport, they're going to have to ask you for an address. Where are you going? Who's this person? How do you know the person? Where do they live? What's their address? How long are you going to be there? Stuff like that. So obviously, before I could leave, I had to resign from my job. I sold all my stuff. I didn't have a lot of stuff. I was like 21, 22, or was I 23? I don't know, around the early 20s. So I had an apartment, but I didn't have like a lot of things. But whatever worldly possessions that I had, I sold them so that I can put together money for the plane ticket. Then my friends threw me a little party. Thank you for that. That was awesome. And then I made the move. I went back home. I said goodbye to my dad. I talked to him about it. I said goodbye to my family, and I came to the US. I was very apprehensive because I don't know the future. I already have a future. I already had a present. I mean, I had a present. I knew I loved my job. I had a good job. I had a house that, I had my own apartment. I was still young. I didn't have any kids. So I was living my best life. Like that was like, I was having an amazing time. So, and I thought that I was going to grow that way, that my career was going to grow that way in communication, in radio, stuff like that. But now I'm coming to the US as a new immigrant. I don't know anything. I don't know. I don't know the processes. I don't know the systems. I don't even know what I'm coming to do. But I'm here with an open mind to just try to look for opportunities, because I trust that if you don't try something, you'll never know. It's better to try something and fail than to regret later. So that's what I used. I was like, that's what I'm coming to do. If it works out, if it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. So the thought of giving up my career, my life, and all that, and not knowing what was going to happen, that was not okay for me. But I still did it. I did it because I was like, what if the visa expires and I didn't make use of it? That would not be okay. I would regret that. So it's better I go and just try my luck. So sold everything, bought the plane ticket, and made the move. So my plane landed in Philadelphia Airport, Philly. Right now, Philly is like an hour away, something like that, drive from me. So when I got there, my host Lydia picked me up. So first of all, the fact that they went through all my luggage, my first shocker was like the English at the airport, the accent. I had to keep asking them to repeat because I'm like, what? I don't get it. I don't understand it. Even if we speak English, our English is like the British, it has towards the British accent, and American accent is very different from our accent. So the English kind of like threw me off. So I had to like really listen to Chambua to figure out what they're saying. And then they went through my stuff, my whole luggage. They asked me to open everything up. They chambuaed everything, took everything out. My stuff was everywhere, just for security purposes, but I didn't even care about that. When he finally said, "Welcome to America," I was like, phew, because I have heard stories of people who have been returned when they go to the airport because of something, whatever reasons. So say, "Welcome to America." I was so relieved. At the airport, they ask you who you coming to see, what are their address, what do they do in life. That's what they asked me. What do they do? Where do they go to school? If they go to school, where do they go to school? What's their address? And how long are you going to be here? So after that, when I saw my friend Lydia, I was so excited. I was so excited to see her. So after that, I had my bags. I had like so many bags. I don't know why we find this need to carry all this stuff when you're coming from the US, from coming to Kenya to the US. I don't think we need to bring all that stuff. If I knew then what I know now, I would have just come with like a backpack. By the way, I didn't need all that stuff because half the things I didn't even use them when I got here. So here I am carrying this big old luggage. It was huge, by the way. And I think I had seen an escalator, but I had never been on one before. So here I am carrying this huge bag and trying to climb it on the escalator. And I'm like, oh my God, I almost tripped on that thing. But everything looked so new to me. It was a new experience as opposed to the first time that I came in 1998, because at that time I had a chauffeur, I I had a tour guide. I had somebody helping me with my bags. I didn't have to do all of that, but I wasn't even concerned about that. It was the fact that I'm here. I am in the United States of America, and my host is here, and it seemed like it was the good old days back in Massey Girls. It's just like now in the US. So we went to the car and drove home. She drove home. I was amazed at everything. The fact that we drive on the right side of the road as opposed to the left side in Kenya. The fact that people here just own cars. A car is like something, is a necessity. It's not a luxury. So owning a car is like owning a jembe. You know the jembe? To lima the shambas. You need a jembe to cultivate your farm. So it's a necessity. It's something that you need on a day-to-day basis here in America. So first of all, she greeted me in Kikuyu. The fact that she's speaking in fluent Kikuyu, I was like, "Hiya, kwani America doesn't change someone? You still have the Kikuyu accent, the Swahili accent. You can speak fluent." So that was amazing. So after that, from the airport, we went home, and it was different. It was different for me the first few days. First of all, you have to figure out your body is like about to shut down because of the jet lag. The trip from Kenya to America is long. The flight is long. I think I connected in Amsterdam. I connected in Amsterdam, and then I came from there to Philly. The flight was long. It was so long. Then when we got to the house, I was amazed at how big the houses are, how beautiful everything looked, and how I was like, how can someone afford this? I was like, wait, that's such a big house. And then the fact that I didn't see people walking around. It's not like in Kenya when you can just walk and say hi to, when you walk and pass somebody else, we always say hi to each other. Here, I rarely saw anybody. People get in their cars from the garage, they get in and they get out. You barely see anybody. But so some of the things that shocked me is the sizes of the houses, and the fact that that's a kawaida thing. That's normal. People to have these huge houses is a normal thing. People to own cars, like even 2 to 3 cars in a family, 4 cars, one family. That's kawaida. That's natural. That's normal. That's a normal thing. People don't talk to each other outside. You don't even see people outside, maybe because of the weather or because of the culture, I don't know. But you don't see as many people outside, or maybe because I came during the winter. Maybe that's why. Then the other thing was the weather. The weather was different. Snow and cold weather that hits you and burns your cheeks. You feel like you're freezing. Your face is frozen. So we could wear those, they're like hats, big hats. They cover the ears and they cover the face and the neck. You have to wear gloves and big coats. You have to layer. It's called layering. You wear t-shirts, you have sweater, coat, all that to keep you warm. Leg warmers, all that. Boots, double socks, all of that. Then the food was different. Even if we had the chicken, it's not the same. It doesn't taste like the Kenyan chicken. The kienyeji chicken, the free range. I was looking for that taste, but even up to now, sijaipata. I haven't tasted that original kienyeji chicken. So looking for like the Kenyan food taste, that was weird. That was different. I still miss a lot of like original Kenyan food. Although we have Indian stores, we have African stores that you can go and buy African food. It's still not the same. Me, I don't feel like it's the same. So I settled in. kidogo kidogo, I started, feeling homesick because you're here, you left your job, you left your family, you don't know anybody but your host. So you can't go anywhere. You don't have a car. You don't have a job. You don't have anything. You're just waiting for your host to help you find your way. The first few weeks were difficult because you're in the house, you're watching shows until you don't want to watch any shows anymore. Even up to now, I'm not like a TV person. I wouldn't sit there and watch TV for hours. I'd rather listen to music, maybe because I used to work on radio. It has something to do with that. But you watch TV mpaka you're like, what else can I do? And the fact that it's cold outside, it's wintertime, you can't even go anywhere. You can't go anywhere. So I just help around the house. I helped her do, things that I'm able to do, I could do. So first of all, I want to say something about hosting someone. Hosting someone is a personal thing. It's not something that you can force on someone. Somebody has to be willing to do that because they're inviting you into their space. I had never met Lydia's husband. I had never met her kids. The fact that she allowed me to come to her space, to her house, to her family and live with them for as long as I lived with them, and accepted me as a sister to her and helped me find my way, establish myself, put my foot in like the door in this United States of America, I will forever be grateful. There is no amount of money that I can take and send to Lydia and give it to her and say, this is for what you did for me. And I hope that my sincere gratitude is enough, because there's nothing big enough that I can give you to say thank you for what you did for me. Hosting someone is not an easy fit. And then you don't even know whether you're going to get along with that person. You don't know the characteristics of the person. You don't know whether they're going to get frustrated and start acting crazy. You don't know if they're going to be depressed. You don't know. You're just accepting this person into your space and helping them get around and helping them establish themselves in this new country. So for that, Lydia, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'll forever be grateful. So I know we talked about the other thing that threw me off. Myself and John Duty, we were talking about American currency. So in Kenya, we transact in shillings, Kenya shillings. So as of today, I think $1 is equivalent to 120 or 130 shillings. So when I came here, it was difficult for me to figure that out and to try to replace the shilling with the dollar. So everything that I did, I was converting in my head. The currency was confusing me, especially the coins. The coins, there's a quarter. There's a quarter, which is a 25 cents. There's a dime, which was a 10 cent. There's a nickel, which is a 5 cents. There's a penny, which is 1 cent. So I would go to the store and the cashier would be like, this item is $2.49. I don't know how much that is. So what I would do, at least I knew the dollars. So I would take the $2 and give her the $2. And then I would take all the coins that I had I used to carry different coins in my bag. And I would take the coins and hand them to her or him, so that she or he can pick the coins that is equivalent to 49 cents, because I don't know what 49 cents is. So that was weird. That was different. It was very different. Up to now, I still get a little bit confused, but not as much, John Duty is still confused. He's only been here for like 2.5 years, and he's still confused about the currencies. So yeah, so the currencies were challenging. The not depression as such, it's just being low in spirits, because it's a new country. You don't have anybody here but your host. You've left all your family back home. When you try to call them, at that time we used to use calling cards. So I would send Lydia, and I didn't even have that much money. So I would ask Lydia, on your way back, can you buy me a calling card so I can call home? And then it was one of those ones you would scratch. You would scratch off, and then you would buy it for whatever, maybe $5 or $10, and it would give you like 30 minutes talk time, and I would call. So because of the time difference, sometimes you're trying to call someone and you can't reach them because of the time difference, or they're sleeping, or they're at work, or they're busy, and it was a very sad time. Sometimes I would get so sad because I'm like, it's not like they're 10 minutes away that I can walk over there and talk to them. Or it's not like they're even 2 hours. I can catch a bus and go. They are miles and miles away. And you've left them behind. You're just here trying to figure your life out so that you can, if everything works out, you're able to help them back home. So for you not to be able to reach your family, that was a sad time. I would call my dad, and we would talk, my brothers and sisters, whoever I could reach, and then, things got better later because we got the phones. But, that the first weeks, they were kind of tough. They were really tough. And then, what else happened? I talked about the food, the currency, the weather, the way you don't see people walking around. And then just the fact that you have to start from scratch. For me, that was difficult, because like I said, I was established. I thought I was established. I was starting off my life as a journalist, as a radio presenter. And I thought my life was going to head that way. So for me to be able to come here and start afresh from scratch in this new country, that was a challenge. And it was a challenge that I overcame. So nothing is impossible. Nothing is impossible. So a car is important, especially if you're going to come to Delaware. You need a car. So if possible, if you're coming to be hosted by someone, have cash, have some money of your own. Have money of your own, so that even when it comes to buying things or moving around, if you have to catch a Uber, things like that, if you can, bring some money, not just $67 like me. I had $67. That's all I left after. That's what I was left with after paying for my flight to come to the US. But like I said, nothing is impossible. So Lydia, she showed me how to drive. I had about 2 weeks to learn that very quickly. I went and did the the driving test, the first test, the written test. I was telling Joe Duty the other day on his live, the first test, I failed. I don't know whether it's because because when you get to the counter, they're English. It was so difficult for me to understand what they're saying. So I don't know if I messed up. I didn't understand the instructions or what happened, but I failed. And I didn't realize that you can skip over. If you don't know the answer to a question, you can skip over and keep moving, so you can attempt other questions. So time was up, and I failed. I went back, I studied, and I came back and I took the test. So when it came to the driving test itself, the physical one that you have to take the car there, so Lydia, she took me there. And this guy, the driving guy, whoever was supposed to take me to the driver's test. He tells me I need to back up, pretend I'm backing up from my driveway. So the way they speak here is different from our English. So you know the way you can tell somebody to reverse from the parking garage or from the parking lot to reverse the car? Here, he said, pretend you're backing up from your driveway. Huh? First of all, backing up. Second of all, driveway. What? What is that? So I caught myself telling Lydia, Nikiarauga, like in Kikuyu, what is he saying? And then Lydia told me, Shokia gari na duda. Shokia gari na duda, like reverse the car. So that's when I understood what he was saying. So she had to translate it to my mother tongue in Kikuyu for me to understand what it meant. So after that, I was like, okay. So I backed the car up. I did that driver's test very, very safely. I passed, got my driver's license. So after that, it was easier for me to move around, even if I was still scared, on the highways. I didn't want to go on the highways because of these trucks. First of all, I didn't want to be driving like close to a truck. If I see a truck next to me like this, I would freak out. I would freak out. So I think for about 6 months, I drove through the back roads. I wasn't going to the highway until I was like, okay, I need to start going on these highways because I'm spending too much time on these back roads. But everything, like I say all the time, trust the process. Even if it takes long, just keep pushing, keep working on it. Believe in yourself. Have faith in yourself that I can do this. I got this, even if things get tough, because things can get tough, especially when you come here, you're by yourself. You have to learn. Everything is new, and you don't even have that much time to learn everything. But despite the many challenges, which are just temporary, despite all those challenges, things worked out. I went to school. I went to, I got jobs, and I got married. I had my baby. She's now 19. I bought a house, and I just recently graduated with my associate degree in nursing. And I'm saying this not to brag. I'm saying this just to show that with persistence, resilience, discipline, you can achieve anything that you want. And it's not like I have achieved everything that I want, because there are still opportunities for growth. There's still room for growth and development for myself and for my, for my own growth and for my career and all that. But looking back from where I came from to now, if I had given up, we wouldn't be talking right now. So don't give up. Whatever you're going through right now, do not give up. Keep pushing. They say it's always brighter before darkness, or is it what is it? It's dark. It's the darkest hour is before sunrise or daybreak. I think that's how it goes. So just look forward to the light at the end of the tunnel, no matter how dark the tunnel might look. So, like I said, eventually everything worked out for me. And I thank God. I thank God for that. I thank God for Lydia and her family. I am grateful to her. Lydia and your family, thank you so much for hosting me. Thank you for taking me in, guiding me through these processes here in the United States of America. And let's keep the friendship. We have been friends for a long time, since back in the day in Masiga. So I appreciate your friendship and everything that you've done for me and my family. So guys, that was just a quick summary of my transition from Kenya to my new life in America. Thank you for joining me during this series of my journey from video number 1 video nambari moja, video number 2, number 3, number 4, and this is video number 5. If you haven't watched the other videos 1 to 4, please consider watching those videos so you can be all caught up. I'll link them up on my playlist. Thank you so much for your continued support. Thank you for subscribing to this channel, liking, sharing, and commenting on my videos. And always remember to seize the moments and trust the process. I'll see you next time.